Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where Valentina is currently being talked to by the disciplinary committee. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm not part of that committee, but I've heard some yelling. It doesn't sound great. But let's take a look at the contracts, and let's just put that out of our minds for right now, and we'll see what we can do. There are a few things that we need to do currently, and that is that we need to go to the moon, more than anything. Now, it does bear noting that that Jeb is currently assigned. He's on the Solar Gateway, and that Valentina, it says she's available for the next mission, but I'm not so sure. I feel like she's probably gonna she might actually get fired for this. I don't know. She might, start her own private mining company or something. Who can tell with Valentina? But we need to bring a new pilot. And it has to be Alden. He has no experience. This is gonna go great. So we're going to need to bring Alden, and we're going to need to be bringing the Griffin 3L. Now, this currently has our SLS variant on it. I want to make a couple of quick changes to this, though, because I want to bring these up about like so. Because we are going to be putting on the Exploration Upper Stage for this launch. It's not necessary, okay? Let's get that out there right now. The Exploration Upper Stage is not necessary to get this where it's going to go, but I want to at least construct it. Now that's a fuel adapter there. I would love to have a proper fuel adapter for this thing. Unfortunately, we're using Rockamax, and we're going to probably have to use a Rockamax brand adapter for it. It's unfortunate. We've been talking to them. They're not very interested in letting other companies develop products based on the Rockamax trademark. They're pretty protective of that, actually. So with that in mind, I think we're going to have to just build the SLS exploration stage the old-fashioned way. Now, the exploration stage, it's kind of weird. All of the information that I've been able to find on the exploration upper stage, as I type that into Google, has been that this is going to be run with 4 RL-10C-3 engines. But all of the images that I'm showing look, well, they're all like side-on views. Like here, actually, I can show you what I'm looking at. Here's the Wikipedia article, and we just see this. So this is going to be used on the SLS Block 1B, of course, and this is just a side-on view, so it's kind of difficult to see how these are arrayed, but I think let's hop back to the game here, and I think we're going to have to put on an engine plate. And we're going to do a very similar sort of thing. We'll put an EP25 on, and this is going to be quad node, like so. And I think LV909s are what we go for here. Like that. Now, how are we going to decouple this? That is quite the question. The other option, of course, is that we could go for just a poodle. It's an option. But I think, well, actually, looking at this, these stick out a little bit. Let's ditch that. Let's go for the poodle. Let's deviate a little bit. There we go. Something along these lines should do the trick. And if I'm done sneezing, we can proceed. So we will go ahead and put in a TD25 decoupler. Like that. Okay. Now, what is the actual color of the SLS fuel tank? And it does bear noting that this is more of a balloon tank that they have going into the engine assembly. This is a slightly different design, but it's a similar concept. They're using an orange tank, so we will do that, I guess, as well. Like I said, we absolutely do not need the exploration upper stage to get to where we're going. This is massively overkill. But I wanted to get this constructed just to see how it feels to fly this. So this should be pretty fantastic. As you can see, my right mouse button is working better. This is the same mouse. I did order a new one, but it's kind of intermittent. And right now it seems to be working fine. Hopefully it holds out. But I do want to take a quick look. Oh, yep, see, there, it's dropping a little bit. I'm holding the button, but it was dropping a bit. I do want to take these off, and I want to put the decouplers up a little bit higher on the first SLS stage for this. We drop those there, and then, of course, we move these downward, like so, and maybe out just a touch. Something kind of like that. Should, in theory, do the trick. Now, I am noticing that these struts are not connected. So we'll connect them in like that. These are kind of awkwardly connected. So we'll do that. And just something kind of like this. Actually, it looks like we lost that strut connector at some point. Ah, it's right here. We do not need a strut there. Okay, let's take a quick look at our aerodynamic profile. Could be better. I think we will move these guys up the stage a little bit. About like that. And of course, these fins are not part of the SLS design. This is just to prevent those sweet, sweet backflips. Now, I do want to make one more minor adjustment. I have zero confidence in this to not wiggle around dramatically. So, I do want to put in a quick strut, quad coupled, connecting about like that. Or thereabouts. Okay, and that is more than capable of being a moon rocket. I mean, without the SLS upper stage, it was more than capable. But with this, it's real capable. Great. So, I think we are pretty much ready to launch this and go off to the moon. Of course, we need to make sure that Valentina's not in this. And Valentina, get out of here. You are supposed to be in your disciplinary hearing. You're not supposed to be in the rocket right now. What are we going to do with her? I don't know. I'm just glad I don't have to make that decision, ultimately. It's a very complicated decision to make. So, I guess we will double check our staging, because this is wrong. I think. Yeah, this is very wrong. So, we want to have our upper stage engine fire. And this would detach at the same time. These, of course, would detach much earlier. There we go. The engine plate can detach at the same time as the exploration stage fires. That's not very relevant. That would detach, yep, and then our drogue chutes and nose cones. Our drogue chutes would go here. We would want to have these detachments happen separately. We may or may not be bringing this stage back. That depends on fuel. But this looks to be correct on the staging. So let's double check this one more time. SRBs and our 4 main engines fire. Then the SRBs should fall off. Yes, indeed. And then the center core falls off and the exploration upper stage fires. Then the exploration stage detaches, and the lander fires, and the nose cones all detach as well. Those should probably detach around here instead. Okay, and then after that, our lander firing bits, our fuel tanks and our engine detach. And we are ready for re-entry. Our drogue chutes fire, our main chutes fire, and we are good to go. Okay, so I think we are ready to take this to the moon, sans Valentina. We're still quite a long ways away from our maneuver nodes on our solar gateway or our solar satellite. I want to double check that we have the science equipment that we want to bring, photovoltaic panels and an ionographer. That is good. And then inside of the service bay here, we should have our... if I can get there... Press map barometer. It's very hard to see in there for right now. I suppose I could do this. Yeah, we've got our fluid spectrovariometer. We've got our... We should have our negative gravioli detector in there. I'm pretty sure we do. Okay, so we'll close that. All of our checks appear to be nominal, which is great. That is exactly what we want. And we will just get this recentered. There we go. And I think we are about ready to launch this. So, let's head to the moon. You know what? We'll grab it. We'll leave the service bay open for now. Those are physics-less parts. It should be fine. I'm sure they're not going to have any issues with that. No, I'm closing it. I'm kidding. Okay, we should probably start pitching over quite soon. Technically, this is yawing over, but this is what we'll do. We're having a bit of roll issue right now. I'm not going to pitch over much more than this. If I can prevent it from tumbling. I was a little aggressive with that, but I managed to hold it. We're through max Q. We're now going to hold this attitude until our SRBs are gone. SRBs are gone. We'll head to 45 degrees. There we go. Yeah, close enough. Our inclination is probably slightly off from that. Yeah, it is. We should try to lower our inclination a little bit. That should be good enough. And now we can start heading directly over. I'm not sure why this fuel gauge is freaking out, but whatever. Let's get that sweet, sweet horizontal speed. We will be exiting the atmosphere eventually. As of right now, we're still inside the atmosphere, and our apoapsis is still inside the atmosphere as well, but we've transitioned to primarily horizontal speed acquisition. Almost exclusively, in fact. And we should be moving fast enough in just a little bit to push our apoapsis up. I hope. I mean, we're burning basically prograde at this point. Our speed is definitely on the low side. We are descending. We need to get more vertical speed. I was too aggressive with that turn. We're now ascending again. And I'm just going to keep pushing this apoapsis up a little bit. I'm going to blame Alden, though. He has no experience with this. He should know better than to pitch that steeply. Apoapsis is currently at 60 kilometers. Make that 70. And now we can head to the horizon. Our exploration stage is now what is getting us in orbit. These nose cones are going to be exciting. Okay, we missed. Fantastic. Okay. So that exploration stage definitely lowers the amount of usefulness we get out of that first stage, but our DV is much, much better. Oh, my right mouse button is kind of going out again. Excellent. Well, let's get over here. Right over to this maneuver node. Just like that. This is a 1 minute, 50-second burn, apparently. Now it's only a 31-second burn. So we need to burn at T-minus 15 and 1/2 seconds. So we will just warp forward. This is a physics warp, hang on. There we go. In space near. Oh, right, we can grab a gravity scan. There we go. We'll collect that. Just change our heading ever so slightly. And warp forward a little bit more. Okay. So we want to burn this now, in fact. And this is just a pure prograde burn. Just adjust that heading slightly. And we are in orbit. And it's a reasonably nominal orbit. Excellent. We had a bit of ascent issues, but I'm sure it's fine. So we will head off to the moon. So we can just plot our intercept. Honestly, we're close enough on the inclination. We can always change our inclination later. This needs to be later, this burn. Sometime around here is probably good. What's that encounter look like? Okay. We can maybe work with that. If we retrograde this a bit, does that bring it closer or further? Yes. Okay, that's the closest we can get, so we need to burn at a different time. That is nice. Just bring this down to about 30 kilometers, probably. Yeah, about like that. And we'll just go ahead and get oriented for that burn. There we go. And we will warp to next maneuver. Fantastic. Okay, let's get a little bit more accurate on that. This is actually just a prograde burn. We need to burn this at, let's see, 1 minute 39 is the burn length, so this would need to be 30 plus 19.5 seconds, so 49.5 seconds. Sounds good. It's going to be a pure prograde burn at 49.5 seconds. So, something like this. I wish that Alden had some sort of experience. That would be nice. But as it is, he doesn't, so we will have to do this manually, because Valentina, she would have been the one to pilot this. But, nope. Not gonna happen right now. Like, they're still yelling at her. I wonder what agreement they're going to end up reaching. That'll be interesting to see. We're probably not going to know that for a little while yet, though. Maybe not even until next episode. Well, off we go. And this should, in theory, get us to where we need to go. And we'll still have quite a bit of DV left to do orbital maneuvers with the exploration stage here. And then after this launch, we do have one more contract that I want to hammer out and just get out of the way. And that is rendezvous 2 vessels in orbit of Kerbal. Maybe we'll rendezvous with the Raven 0X and do some repairs on it or something. But that's definitely a contract I want to complete. Okay. Let's just bring this guy right on in. That'll do. Plenty close. Once we get here, of course, we want to burn retrograde and circularize up our orbit. About like that, although not quite that much. Something more like... It's very touchy. More like that'll do. Excellent. We'll get oriented for that. And as we warp out, we may very well have some science to do. Just bring this back to about here. Excellent. Moon, here we come. We're not going to warp the whole time at this speed, of course. That would be ridiculous. So, let's just bring it on out. In space high over water. We'll grab that and collect it. And let's continue. Are we going to get any more in space high? Yes, we will. Over shores. Fantastic. We'll collect that. Grasslands. We'll collect that. Southern ice shelf. I didn't expect to be over that. Okay. You know what? I'll take the free science. Oh, actually, I missed mountains there. Actually, I missed highlands is what I missed. That's okay. There's highlands. That extra 2.7 science. We're probably not going to get too much else on the way out. Realistically. I'm not sure how much faster than this I really want to warp. Badlands. We'll grab that. Fantastic. We'll go up to 100x time warp. I guess 1,000 for now. The moment we enter lunar orbit, it should automatically take us out. Yes, indeed. In space high over Midlands. Fantastic. Of course, we're only grabbing the one gravity scan for right now. Okay. Let's just warp in a little ways. We are moving at 100x right now. And this is still kind of slow, so I'll bring it to 1,000 until we're a little closer. Okay, we got lowlands. We'll grab that. Fantastic. I don't really feel comfortable right now going at 1,000. We'll grab Northwest Crater. And go up to 100x speed. No other biomes? Oh, Highlands. Okay. We'll grab that. And then we will collect this. We'll reorient here. About like that. And we're not going to 100x speed anymore. 10x is plenty. East Crater. Okay. That'll be fine. We'll grab that. And of course our inclination is definitely going to be interesting. Actually, this is pretty equatorial. I like it. We can actually EVA report here if I can get out in time. Got it. Fantastic. We'll collect all that. This is going to be a 13-second burn. We're now getting our in-space nears, which is great. We'll warp a little bit forward. No, we won't, because that's a new biome. We'll warp a little bit forward now. And that's Midlands. I'm going to bump this up to 6, just so that those no longer appear, because we don't have storage capacity for them. Unless I wanted to really try hard this, which I kind of don't feel like doing. T-minus 13 seconds is when we're looking for this burn. So here in about 5 seconds. And here's our breaking burn. That'll do. Excellent. Well, it is pretty much time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. We need to do an orbit to grab in-space near. That'll happen next episode, and then we will also land at the experiment control station. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.